And we are underway here. Central Valley Fuego U23 versus Bay Valley Suns on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We have Fuego coming off of a 4-0-2 form, 4 wins, 2 losses, losing recently against Davis FC. Was a nice match, really intense, and honestly very, very tight. You had a score of 3-4 in favor of FC Davis. We have the Bay Valley Suns here coming out of form of being winless, so something we have to look out for because sometimes when you know, are in that form, you have something, you play with something to prove. Something to note is it does appear that the Bay Valley Suns have traveled to Fresno with only 13 players, which makes this a very dangerous game in the sense of if you have any injuries or if there's any red cards given, because then you're going to see them playing down a man, and you potentially might see key players not being replaced with the right depth. So far here in the first minute already, Fuego have earned themselves a corner kick. Looks like this corner kick is taken by David Kabamba, given to Damien, known as the 559 Messi, who chips it in and right to the goalkeeper's hands. And I cannot stress this enough to the viewers who are watching on Channel 53 or on YouTube. The weather here is beautiful, so it's not going to be the intense heat that you usually get when you play, around this time, which is something interesting to look forward to because for these Bay Area teams, they're used to this weather. And Fuego usually trains around this time. They're used to the intense heat, so we're not going to have that at our advantage this time around. Bay Valley here, booting it up. On the top end, they seem to have some very, very tall guys, tall players that, potentially can beat Fuego's defense when win those aerial duels. David here dribbling out from the back, looking up, no one to pass to. Gives it to 559 Messi, Damien, who then beats the player and he gets fouled really badly, actually. Kevin Garcia here on the ball. Passes it to, fakes the pass, then gets pass gets intercepted. Still, Fuego's ball. I think it's really early to start calling, potential results. But one of the things to note is, and it's a very common theme in everything that we talk about when we narrate these matches, is the absolute distance of an age when it comes to the Fuego players versus, all these teams. We have players that are 17, 18 years old that are starting off this half, and you have Bay Valley Suns, which is coming in with players that are 30, 31, 32. So, that experience is usually going to give them the edge. They're going to make less mistakes, and then when we make mistakes, they're going to capitalize on those mistakes. But at the same time, it puts some pressure on their psychology, because if the Fuego players end up scoring and then end up pulling ahead, it could frustrate them, and that's all we've seen so far is, when we're up 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, the opposing team gets very, very frustrated. You start seeing these dirty tackles where they just, they're obviously fouls, they're obviously, got beat, and they just don't want to accept it. And so what they do is they play dirty. So, a very, very exciting matchup today. And, speaking of exciting matchups, there's going to be another exciting matchup coming here very, very soon on May 11th. You're going to have Valley 559 playing Fuego's affiliate club, Selma FC. And that's going to be a very, very interesting match because you see a lot of players that are playing for Selma FC, also very, very young and very, very talented, and going up against former professionals. And those guys right now are at the bottom of the table. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out, and the fans and just overall the day. It's going to be a very, 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 very busy day of soccer. Kevin Garcia here on the ball, patching it over to Steve. Steve to Eddie Veliz, goalkeeper, playing it out wide. So far, it seems like both teams are trying to find each other, trying to trying to understand each other. And usually, you're not going to see the team settle into a rhythm of play until the 15th minute, because it's a battle for dominance to see who's going to maintain possession and who can make a statement. Here is seems to be very big. Um, a lot of depth, as a lot of these college kids are now out for college, and they're looking for these summer leagues to play in, and it looks like they're going to be joining us here. California, from obviously here from Fresno, from the NorCal, from SoCal. They're very invested in what this team is doing, and they're very interested, and they just want to play at a high level with high level coaches and coaches that are properly licensed. Experience different style of play that they're not used to in their home college team. Sebastian Limon here on the ball to Axel. Axel to David. David to Kevin. Kevin chips it over to Eris. Eris cuts in. And early goal here by Fuego, by Kevin Garcia. Just simple mistakes. Very simple mistakes here. Ball was passed over to Isaiah, and Isaiah was not marked. He just chipped it over to Kevin, who again was not marked, and it was an easy goal to score. Makes you wonder, very early in the game, and this is what we're talking about. Experience players, when they make mistakes, and they get punished in the best of ways, especially when they're up against players who are much younger than them. Very great start for Fuego FC. Damien here on the ball. Sebastian Limon to Nash. Nash over to Chris. Could have had a better touch on it. Bay Valley here on the counterattack. Very beautiful pass. But Steven gets to it. Going to David Kabamba. David then looks for open space but can't seem to find any. Dribbles out of pressure. Passes out of pressure. Good. By Fuego U23. They're relentless. They keep it coming, and they don't try to force the ball when they know they can't beat their there by finding an opening or dribbling out of pressure. Axel here, 559 Messi. Like interception by Fuego U23, who then is looking to drive up that left wing. There's a lot of free space here on the right wing. Trying to drive up the left wing. 559 Messi here gets ahead. That's what he's known for. Almost trips. Okay, still has the ball. Passes it back to Sebastian, who then chips it in. And honestly, would have been a great header here by Christian Silva, but he was just not in the right position. Bay Valley here playing out the back. You can tell here they're trying to create an opening. Comes to the rescue here. Can they, what will they do with that pressure? Long ball here. But a foul was called. And this is a very, 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 very dangerous set piece here. Bay Valley here gets out possessed by Fuego. Fuego wins the possession to Axel. Axel to Eddie. Eddie to Steven. Steven decides to cut in through the middle. Goes to Sebastian. David here calling for the ball, making himself available, and immediately making a fantastic pass here to Kevin Garcia. Wow, an amazing goal here by Fuego. That was a side ninja kick here by Isaiah Villalobos. Was it Christian? Already here you can see some frustration from Bay Valley SUNS. They're bickering amongst each other. Older, it means that they're going to be holding themselves accountable, but at the same time, this is what causes miscommunication and friction amongst the teammates. Bay Valley here responding with immediate, wow, great response here by Bay Valley, but cut short here by Fuego's defense. And these Fuego players really controlling the play. You know, the speed of play. They're basically telling Bay Valley, hey, you know, you're gonna play as fast or slow as I want to play. You're gonna follow me. Steven here with the ball to Kevin. Kevin to 559 Messi. 559 Messi here, cutting on the inside, has an opportunity here. Will he take the opportunity? And just wide of the net. Is something very, very creative you will see when Damien gets the ball. That's why he's called the 559 Messi. You know, he's very fluid with the ball. You never know what you're going to get, and it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but for the most part, for us, it's been a very, very good thing. Billy from the back took a great job. And it looks here like the referee is giving Bay Valley a yellow card for kicking a man while he's down. Again, part of the frustration that I was talking about, what you see when you see players that are very much older, more experienced, getting beat by players who are half their age. And you know, these guys could be like their kids. Looks like David Kabamba here is going to take the very, very crafty on the ball. Has a really good placement. Let's see if he can get it into the right pocket. Players here are making runs. Hits it just short. Probably a small mistake here, but wow, Bay Valley here responding with very, very aggressive, and it's for nothing. It's Fuego. Plays out wide to Steven. Steven here, a lot of open space. Chips it over to David Kabamba. Gets intercepted though. And a half over him, so they win those aerial duels. Now the ball is on David's feet. this is where it gets unpredictable because David's very, very athletic, and while he does appear to beat the player stiff arms him. Being 16, 17 years old to being 30 years old, your muscles kind of grow in, and your leg muscles as well. And you can hold yourself up much more decently than when you're that age. It's not a skill issue; it's just a growth issue. But something you'll see as soon as David continues to progress. He's massive, massive potential for MLS or first division anywhere in the world. Great attitude, great professional. Shows up on, doesn't complain, does his ice paths, eats healthy. Exactly what you would expect from a professional. And he's very, very respectful. Very, very dangerous here for Fuego, as looks like a corner kick has been called here on Bay Valley Suns' behalf. This is the difference maker here, right? Is sometimes comes down to a couple inches, and these players have a couple feet over our players in height. Let's see if they can get it into the right pocket and score this goal and shorten the gap in Bay Valley Suns. Very, very good. Wow, that was a very, very good cross here by Bay Valley Suns, but not able to get it into the pocket. Fuego deflects it. Chip here has it. 559 Messi here. It's a 3v2. Takes the defender here and scores the goal. I think he made the goalie on that one. It's very embarrassing here for Bay Valley Suns. Makes it 3 goals here in the first 17 minutes. Gap widen or will it close? That is the question here that we have to answer in the next 28 minutes or so. 25 minutes or so. Bay Valley here. Taking chances, risking it all here, cutting through the middle. Trying to cut down Fuego U23's defense. And cross here by Bay Valley Suns, but no one was there to capitalize. Great opportunity that was created by them, and they could have used that. Good job on them. Steven here on the ball. Goes to Sebastian Limon. Goes to goalkeeper Eddie Veliz. Out wide. Very dangerous play, though. And possession is turned over, and Steven here, again, lobs it. Valley is knocking on the door here. They are at the front of the door. They knocked, and they're gonna knock again. They're gonna knock one more time, and it gets deflected, and it one more time and into the goalkeeper's hand. Very, very dangerous play here. Should not have happened in the first place, but kudos to Bay Valley for just knocking on that door. And had they placed that in the corner instead of directly at the goalkeeper, they would have easily made that converted that into a goal. Kevin Garcia here plays it to Christian Silva, but the goalkeeper comes out and again lobs it, and looks like possession here has been turned over to Fuego. Eris Yang here with the throw in to Kevin Garcia. Nash, who then goes to David Kabamba. Perfect placement for David there, as he usually wins this. Kevin calling for the ball, clamoring for the ball. The referee says the ball was out of bounds. Goal kick. Again, we're not even has substantially widened for Bay Valley and Fuego U23. Isaiah here putting high pressure on the ball. Over. And referee calling a foul here in favor of Bay Valley SUNS, saying, hey, Bay Valley here to not be able to maintain position through the middle, so they've resorted to just playing a long ball. And the strategy makes sense on paper, but work, we don't know. They do have some height over our defense, but that doesn't mean that the placement is going to be perfect. And that also the swarm of players isn't going to immediately build around the ball as soon as it gets lobbed over. Eddie here receives possession of the ball, goes to Kevin. Kevin plays out to Sebastian Limon. Limon crosses it over to Isaiah. Will it be called as offsides? Looks like the referee here calls offsides. But was it offsides? That's the question that we need to know. Let's take a look at the VAR. Nah, I'm just kidding. We don't have VAR. Looks like a substitution here is being made. With Steven coming out. Looks like we have one of the Fuego College players coming in. Looks like it's Julian. Makes an interesting substitution, as he's the first FPU player to be called to the pitch on behalf of Fuego U23. On the counterattack, you have three players there, and the referee calls a foul. Whether or not that was a foul is up. The halfway line here, Bay Valley's playing a short. Right to the keeper's chest. Doesn't seem to have been any intention behind those passes. Damien here. Isaiah here, who poorly receives the ball and loses it. Now is putting some pressure on their defense. Bay Valley seems to be maintaining possession here. Great development for them. 25 minutes into the game. Finally seem to be putting some pressure on Fuego's defense. And they have opportunities. Doesn't seem here like they're capitalizing on them, but that goes directly to the goalkeepers. And very interesting play here by Bay Valley SUNS. They hit the ball. Fuego U23 here fighting for the ball. Isaiah here making a back pass directly to the Bay Valley players. He's watching the ball play. Gonna throw the ball in. Sends it to Julian. Gives it to Nash. Back to Sebastian Limon. Gives it back to Nash. Now to Julian, who I believe is at that 23 age mark. About to age out. But a very, very strong player. Choosing not to pass it to Kevin. Then last minute decides to pass it to Kevin. Axel here gives it to inside, cutting inside, looking for a ball. David here wide open, which is a huge mistake on Bay Valley Sun's behalf, but traps the ball a little bit too far ahead of him. Bay Valley here on the counterattack. And Sebastian here stabs in. No, but clearly is a foul here. And it looks like Fuego is U23 is awarded a corner kick. The fact that if this gap widens anymore, they might not be able to come back from it. Especially as their bench is very, very thin. And Fuego's bench is full of young and hungry college players that have yet to play a single minute in this league. So far, Fuego has been running only with players that are about 19 years old, 18 years old, 17 years old. And you have here players that are slightly older, more experienced, that are in the college system playing first division NCAA. They're from this Fresno area, from the Central Valley area. And they've come to play here with Fuego. And Isaiah here should have been a goal, but looks like it wasn't. And the referee here says, ball kick. Bay Valley here, battling it out. Oh, and look, who gives a back pass to the Bay Valley Suns player, which is not a very, very, very good look, but probably just some miscommunication. Fuego U23 might get punished, but unfortunately not, or should I say fortunately not. Could have easily been a goal here for Bay Valley Suns and to close that gap. Ball here on the ball. Tries to get it through to the 5'9" Messi, gets deflected. Still Fuego's ball. But Bay Valley, they just round. Just to speak to the frustration that these players are feeling. You might as well just throw you to the ground. Get a foul called against you, then have a goal scored against you, right? David here on the ball. Referee blows his whistle. To Kevin here, who's very, very nasty with his distribution in a good way. Very clever. Wins back the possession. Slightly mistraps the ball. And gives up possession. Bay Valley here on the counterattack. Will they punish us for this mistake? We will see right now in the next. Now return back to the Fuego U23 team. David Kabamba here on a 2v1 and 3v1. Looks like the Bay Valley Sun player here. Slide tackles David. David is still on the ground. And the referee has awarded a Sun player is very, very frustrated. Yells at the referee. Not a very professional look on their end to express their displeasure. Short. And is nearly a goal here. Looks like the referee runs over to the goalkeeper. And a goal kick is awarded. Possession is Damien here. Playing through to Christian Silva here. Crosses it in. And almost that appeared to be a goal, but looks like it was just wide of the net here by Sebastian Limon. Sometimes when the speed of play is too quick and there's a lot of pressure on you, you make a simple mistake, like you touch the ball just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. The intention was behind it, the power was behind it, direction was behind it, just not in the right location. Fuego here, U23 wins the possession from the back. Gets to Sebastian. Sebastian here tries to beat him. This Bay Valley Sun player clearly just fouls him and pushes him away. Uses the physicality aspect here of being twice his age. But the great thing you see from these young players is their response. They're not bothered by it. They're showing this community what it means to be a hard worker, and to just keep your head down and keep moving forward despite whatever life throws at you. And as we've talked during these games, is that everything comes down to an expression of culture, and this community, right, is very much about hard work. It's very much about do what you're told, and it's not in a bad way. It's not that you're a slave or that you're some sort of just mindless. Do what it takes to be consistent over a long period of time, and to simply just shut up and not complain. And that's what you see from these players, right? They get eyes, and you don't see them appeal to the referee for a foul. They just get back up and they get back to work, and they say, hey, let my work show, and be dramatic and yell at the referees here. And a good goal here. Looks like a goal here by Bay Valley Suns, or give kudos to this team that's not giving up. Bay Valley here saw an opportunity and capitalized on it, and they punished Fuego U23. Arise from some miscommunication between number 56, the sub that just came in. But Bay Valley have earned their goal. David Kambaba here. Nash here on the ball. And bodied by the older player. But again, like we are talking about, just gets back up and right back to work. B, just Isaiah here, putting minimal pressure on the ball. Should be seeing more. Eris Yang here, heads the ball over to Eddie. Potentially dangerous as there was a high press coming up from Bay Valley. Kevin Garcia here turns, and it's 2v1, and it looks like offside. Just keeper on behalf of Bay Valley. Could have been dangerous for his head if the 5-5. Long ball here is lost. Sent over to Christian. Christian then loses possession. And the only lone stander there's ball is faster than any one person could run. And that was very dangerous here by Bay Valley. They could have easily headed that. We're nearing the end of the second half. To the 40th minute. We'll see if the referees add any extra time. Long ball here by Fuego, U23. There doesn't seem to be a dominant team in this match. Usually what you'll see is either Fuego dominating or a very evenly matched game. Right now, it seems to be a fight for possession in the middle of the field. And everyone here is widening up, opening up for the ball. And it could be very dangerous because if no one receives the ball correctly, then this is a very, very dangerous counter attack. Down to David. Julian to Axel in the open space. Axel to Damien to Isaiah. Here receives it, and a great opportunity here, but no one's there to capitalize. Christian Silva here on the ball. Middle, and to Isaiah, who almost makes it in. It looks like it looks like the goalkeeper was potentially hit in the groin area. Not a very pleasant feeling to have. Isaiah here on the ground now. Referee comes up to him, says, "Hey, everything fine?" And Isaiah looks like he gets up, saying, "Yep, just." Looks like this will potentially add some extra time here in the first half. Looks like the entire bench for Fuego is getting up to warm up. I wonder what type of changes Coach Santi is going to make here in the second half. Will he keep the current team? Will he replace them? I'm not too sure. High press here by Fuego. Goalkeeper. Here by himself on a 2v1 and loses possession. Doesn't seem to be super hungry to maintain possession, unfortunately. Eris, who then loses possession to Bay Valley. Bay Valley here. Dribbles out of pressure, passes out of pressure. Tries to make an opportunity on the right wing here. Bay Valley cuts in and takes a wide shot. Really nice shot, actually, and could have easily gone in if placed just slightly a bit lower. Trying and doing its very, their very best to, shorten the gap here, which is only 2 goals big. It's still anyone's game. My prediction is more discouragement from Bay Valley or more frustration. And if they shorten the gap, I think you're going to see here potentially some discouragement on Fuego's side. And I think the conversation opens up to. And deflection off the goalkeeper. Gives it to Isaiah. Isaiah gives it back to Sebastian here. Sebastian here is back to Sebastian. Right in the middle and just wide of the, super wide of the goal, but you cannot blame Isaiah here as he was pushed before he, right before. His balance was way off when he got to it. Here looking to see how they can counterattack. At this point, it's anyone's game. They're going back and forth. And Bay Valley cannot let it go. He pulling on the jersey and potentially on his groin. Christian Silva by himself. Gives it to David. David out of the goal. Still an opportunity here for Fuego as Damien has it. Wins it. Cuts through the middle. Gives it to and loses possession here. And now it's going to be a counterattack here by Bay Valley. And turnover in possession. Christian here gets the ball, but again, just keeps. He has the tenacity and the record to score goals, but has not been connecting. He's like a, bigger icon than Messi himself, bigger icon than Ronaldo himself. He just scores goals, scores goals, scores goals, and scores goals. Isaiah here looks like he's gonna win here. Good idea though. I mean, you cannot blame Isaiah for doing what he does best, but just take chances. And most of the time, those chances. Making that pass. Now, he did have the option to give it to Damian. Maybe he didn't see Damian, but in the future, that's something for him to think about. On behalf of Bay Valley, very, very long ball to Eris. Eris heads it to Sebastian. Sebastian seems to be winning possession. Oh, and it looks like Isaiah wins the ball here and loses possession subsequently. And looks like he has now said, "Hey guys, it's time to relax." Halftime has now started, and officially the score here is Bay Valley SUNS. We're going to take a quick 15-minute intermission, and we'll be back here for the second half for some more exciting action. For the viewer watching on Channel 53 or on YouTube, is going to react now that they're going to potentially put in some older players. And two, will Bay Valley SUNS falter in the second half as their bench in? As the heat starts to bear down, will we now have that advantage that we're used to? We don't know. Stay tuned. Hopefully, we'll catch you guys here in the next 15 minutes.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Loser eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Loser eye, one-on-one. Loser eye, oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocked back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. And that one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was!
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevy Roy. My goodness, Sevy Roy with a left-footed banger. In for Baccarat, and that goes in! Hugo Baccarat gives Flint City a 3-2. Buckley, oh, the ball falls to Buckley. One-on-one with Etheridge. What a save!
Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for Girls Soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickerat.
Ball comes in, a good hit! 1-0! Shot, another save from Etheridge! Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0! Burzma, but then for Vlasma! 3-0! Stewart Heights with a shot! Upper 90 and in!
Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos.
Mario Canoe now finds Sock. Finding Sock's got a left-footed banger. He shoots it, and it's in! The Red Horse equalize!
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Down by the end line. Pushes across. Loser eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Loser eye, one-on-one. Loser eye, oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocked back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. And that one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevy Roy. My goodness, Sevy Roy with a left-footed banger.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
In for Baccarat, and that goes in! Hugo Baccarat gives Flint City a 3-2. Buckley, oh, the ball falls to Buckley. One-on-one with Etheridge. What a save!
Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for Girls Soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickerat.
Ball comes in, a good hit! 1-0! Shot Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos. Mario Canoe now finds Stock. Finds Stock's got a left-footed banger. He shoots it! It's in! The Red Horse equalize!
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Loser eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Loser eye, one-on-one. Loser eye, oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocked back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal.
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. And that one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Badia of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevi Roy. My goodness, Sevi Roy with a left-footed banger.
And we're underway here in the second. Looks like immediately trying to win possession on their third, but Fuego counterattacks and offsides is called. Some interesting things to look at is it looks like on Fuego U23's behalf, looks like they've put in a pair of FPU players on the wings. Looks like both teams are battling for possession. Background, you can hear the military's call. Plays every day at 5 p.m. And they get to it in an interesting interesting play here by Bay Valley. It looks like they hit it up. Gives it to David. To Julian. Julian to Axel. Axel to Eris. Dribbles through to the middle. Back to Julian. Julian. Pass to Luquinhas. And just very, very wide. Easily been dangerous, though. Place a little bit closer at a slower speed of play. Nice ball to Isaiah. Isaiah passes it to making it a 4-1. Fuego U23. Bay Valley Suns just won. Now widening the gap here for. But what I can tell you is that at this point, now that we're in the second half, gap being so wide, it is not a good feeling. Game in a row being winless. I believe they are on the path to probably having the worst ELO score in the league. And it looks like the goal kick is awarded to Fuego. Elise here telling everybody, hey, move up. Let's win this ball in the air. Let's see what happens here. Ball is cleared and won by Kevin. Turns around, gives it to He's there, cuts in, passes it, and just wide of the net here. Kevin Garcia here took a chance, and it looks like he is at the same time really good opportunity here that he took, and very, very happy that he took it. Fuego here by himself, takes the keeper, but misses an opportunity that was trying to cut in. Bay Valley pulls on the jersey, committing probably the third foul of the night. This number 6, simply on pulling. He believes here, playing out from the back. Ball is given perfectly to Isaiah. And it gets pulled back here. Arm is pulled. And David here wins it on a slide tackle. Very clean slide tackle. Kevin Garcia here on the ball. Gives it to FPU. And again, great opportunity here. Great opportunity. Not capitalized by Kevin Garcia, but the chances are there. Chances are being created. All right, let's see here. Bay Valley, and it goes straight to the goalkeeper's hand. Looking at cutting in. Goes to David. David goes here. Julian. To Nash. Nash. Great idea here to Luquinhas, was by himself. No pressure on him. Tries to cut into the middle. And there's 5 players for Bay Valley. And great. Honestly, who gives it to David. David, unfortunately, misses the ball and goes out of bounds. Give it to Eddie. Has some space. Chips it over back to Julian. Could have been a dangerous move. I like to take these risks. And they're fighting for the ball. And possession here is Ellie, who is earning every opportunity that they get. You cannot knock them for that. Throw it up closer. And it looks like the referee gave them the green light. for Fuego's defense. Fuego lets it play out of bounds. Still, I think it's too early to call. With just 3 more goals, this would be a repeat against Iron Road, which would have been a 7-1 victory. Sub here for, again, we talk about that deep. It's actually being very thin. It's a dangerous spot for them to play aggressively. Gives it over to Julian. Julian hands it over here to Isaiah. Isaiah ready for the ball. Will he get there? We don't know. He does a very, very smart thing called out of bounds on Fuego's behalf, so corner kick is earned. Looks like there's some conversation going on here between Isaiah and the defense. Ball is played short here. David has it. A foul is called. And the yellow card is given to Bay Valley SUNS for playing very aggressively, and I should say very nasty. Committing a foul and risking the health of another player who's your opponent is not honorable. Seem to develop amongst each other where they understand this is how they make a living. At this level, players who have aged out, have nothing else to lose other than their dignity. It seems like this. Looks like there's going to be another sub here coming in for Fuego after this set piece happens. And it looks like the goal. So congratulations here to Fuego Utility 3. Widening the gap even more here, 5-1. Very dangerous for 3, especially with this new sub coming in. It seems that the depth on the bench, Fuego's bench, is bringing up the level. Right, are about 2 or 3 years older than the current players that have gotten Fuego this far, meaning they have a little bit more experience. MLS Next Pro experience, former professional experience. Looks like David Kabamba here. Cuts in. And looks like possession is just maintaining itself in the middle. Fuego cuts in, dribbles through past 3 defenders. Ball's given to Isaiah. And sorry, not Isaiah, Chris. Looks like play is stalled for an injury here. With they're making a injury substitution, bringing in their second goalkeeper, which again puts them in a very dangerous position as keeper at all. And it looks like Fuego is getting ready to make even more substitutions. Warmed up for the following match. It seems like they've already decided to call this a victory. Usually when exactly what Fuego has done, and they have placed some of the older players in to get them some minutes. Looks like there's looks like coming in any moment now. He's warming up. Ernie Aguilera again comes from FPU and very, very skilled. Very Bay Valley making what's potentially their last substitution here of the match. With number 19 coming on board. Now, the usual weather is not on our side here like it is. The heat did turn up for a moment, and it looks like it's now turned back down. Playing out right wide. Looking us here to David. Goes to Kevin, who then gives it to, I think, Chris Macias, who I believe goal of the night, making this 6-1 for Fuego. Into the second half, and it looks like we're getting two more players are being substituted here. It looks like Angel Relas and Ernie Aguilera, probably to replace some of the younger players who've already done their duty, and for this very, very young team, as all the substitutions are being made. Angel here looks like he's coming in, and he's pushing the player back. And Ernie comes in here for the defense, or midfield defense. Angel here wins the ball, loses it, gets passed over, and possession is lost to Bay Valley SUNS. Fuego regains possession via Eris Yang. And now is on the counterattack. Garcia here, no, Chris Macias here. Looks like he's fighting for possession. And looks like he commits a foul of some sort, but does not get called. Still, though, there are a handful of young players here. They're keeping up with and substituted, and have obviously contributed significantly to Fuego's success thus far. Angel here cuts in, like he loses possession, and he fights. It looks like there's by number 11 from Bay Valley Sun. Quiñas here wins possession. And just wide. Very, very wide. You know, very unselfish of Quiñas here. He could have totally chipped it or just gone straight for the. But we're still 25 minutes left in the second half. This could be, you know, anyone's game. Manner. Bay Valley here takes David Kabama. Just outside the box. Referee calls it for direct kick, and it looks like he's getting ready to give. No, he's just getting ready to mark. He's marking where the wall. This is an opportunity for Bay Valley to earn one back. Make it. What? Looks like there's one more substitution made here. David Kabama has come off. Rigo Jr. has. Looks like there's a breakaway here. Quiñas chips it to himself, gets to it, and there's a sweep here on behalf of Bay Valley Suns. Foul has been called, rightfully so. like these Fuego players are talking amongst themselves. And idea here, but just very, very wide header. Who then turns the ball over, and it making this 7-1. Again, this is a game won on mistakes and opportunities created. Committed by Bay Valley. Making this 7-1. $20 to go, more or less, making this even more than 7-1, making this maybe 10-1, dare I say. Rigo here beats this guy. Rigo on the ball to Nash. Just wide of the net here. Could have easily been 8-1. Again, a goal scored or goals made on mistakes. Could have easily been a goal. In the back, but immediate pressure from the U23 players. Can they make it? Doesn't appear so. Possession turned around, and ball awarded. Appears like 2. And looks like the ball's been out to turn around to Bay Valley's possession. Will it be called offsides? It doesn't appear so. Looks like he's by himself. 8-1. Will the water break? We don't know. Is it already broken? Again, we don't know. And there's no more substitutions, it appears, on Bay Valley's bench. So they have no choice but to endure this thrashing. In them. This will be the first time that Nash here cutting through and giving it right to the goalkeeper's hands. Good idea. Ernie here dribbling out, going to Rigo. Rigo opening for space, goes back to Ernie. Ernie to Eris. Eris to Axel. Axel Back to goalkeeper Eddie Belize. Eddie to Ernie. Ernie. Looks like Luquinhas is going to beat it. Gets there, cuts in. Cuts in. Looks like it's called. Point. Roughly 15 minutes left on the clock. Still potentially anyone's game. Looks like Bay Valley here is building out from the back. Launches. No high press. Rigo receives it immediately. There's pressure. Nash. Ace. Back to Ernie. Back to the goalkeeper. Receives it with grace and patience. Plays it out wide. Luquinhas by himself. The number 19 does not want to be marking him for some reason. Referee calls offsides. Bay Valley is Luquinhas has created so many chances because he's by himself. Bay Valley here. Goes wide. Fuego wins possession in the air. Angel here on the ball. Goes to goalkeeper Eddie Veliz. Very dangerous here for Bay Valley as Fuego seems to be cutting in. And it looks like a foul is committed, but Fuego here wins possession in the air. Can they cut away? Angel here. Chris Macias. Making this 9-1. Assisted by Angel Relas. Fuego get to the double digits. Can Fuego make this 10-1? I don't know. We will see right now. All I know is that there's 10 minutes left on the clock, and even if there's overtime, it doesn't appear that the referee will honor it at this point. Cuts in. Luquinhas maintains possession. Overlapping run done by February 23. Valley. Fuego U23 fighting for it. Bay Valley here. To give them that. I think they're taking this with charisma and they're playing honorably. Done anything. It's a call for a foul, which technically should be called a foul for time wasting. Bay Valley wins the aerial duel. Erisiang on the ball. Turnover by Fuego. Angel here on the ball. Bay Valley here has a clear opportunity, but it looks like they've misstepped. Luquinhas on the ball. Seven minutes left on the clock here. Can Fuego U23 make this 10-1? Oh, and great opportunity created by them. You have to give them props. Could have easily hands. Eddie Veliz here plays out from the back to Ernie. Ernie gives it to Luquinhas. Luquinhas cannot get to it. Great idea though. Throw in. And immediately there's pressure. Referee calls a foul, says, hey, cannot hold him. Played a wide by Bay Valley. Bay Valley has a great opportunity, but again, to the goalkeeper's hands once more. Great idea here by and a clear foul, but the referee says no foul. Five minutes left. To keep going. I don't know. This will be history for both for the League of Clubs and for Fuego U23 game. They need it all. And Ball is not placed in the net. Ball goes wide to Chris Macias. Who looks for support, and ball's given and not called off the goal. Sets it up, and look, referee does not call the foul. I'm not sure what this referee has in mind. That was clearly 4 minutes left here for Fuego U23. Does not seem to be any burning desire for either side to score one more goal. No sense of urgency for Fuego U23. No sense of urgency here for Bay Valley. The question that needs to be asked here as we're wrapping up the match is, now with the extra firepower that Fuego U23 has, you know, what will happen later? Will the level of play drop, and then will we then be left with players who are not getting consistent minutes, or will it stay the same? Together the game day line up, and he starts looking into what potentially it looks like for playoffs. You have to ask yourself, where are our priorities? Do we develop players, or are we a recruiting agency? Luquinhas here. Like he's hungry, cutting through, and ball is just wide of the net here. That should have been 10. One minute left of the game. Can Fuego make this 10-1? We don't know. Looks like the referee here is calling for a yellow on behalf of Bay Valley. Again, why bring up your yellow card count? Accept defeat. There's no need to play dirty. There's no need to endanger the health of another. Probably less than a minute here left of gameplay. Is there a desire? Instead, it's only 9-1. No sense of urgency from the Fuego U23 players. It's a shame. And referee calls it, says that's game. 9. Alrighty, guys. Stream has ended. Production has ended. Broadcast has ended. Join us at our next and final home match on June 8th against Silicon Valley Rush. We have a month from now. Will be an exciting matchup as Selma FC will be playing a preliminary match that day at 1. Get to enjoy an exciting day of soccer here with us home very soon for our last home match here in the League for Clubs. signing off here for Central Valley Fuego.